Is cheesecake a pie? Seriously, though, is it? Happy March 14th, people. Hint for the less nerdy among us. It's Pie Day. The Hustle. Tuesday, March 14th, 2017. 3.14.17. Brought to you by Microsoft. Intel doubles down on data. Intel is buying Israeli car camera maker MobilEye for $15.3 billion. That's 15 billion doll hairs. The chip maker is paying an extra 34% over the company's closing share price Friday, making it the second largest deal in the company's history and begging the question, why are they shelling out all this cash? If Intel is the brains of the car and MobilEye is, well, the eyes, obviously. Their technology helps cars see lanes and obstructions on the road using chips paired with image recognition software to provide features like collision warning and auto braking. Intel hopes that together they'll be able to use their remote data centers and high-speed wireless tech to help MobilEye interpret objects in a car's field of vision and avoid mishaps. And, surprise, surprise, they've also developed systems for autonomous vehicles, a market that Intel predicts will reach $70 billion by 2030. So, this is a huge play for Intel. Not only will the partnership supplement its dying PC sales, but Intel's gaining access to a ton of MobilEye's relationships with automakers like GM, Volkswagen, Honda, BMW, and Audi. And at the end of the day, these technologically advanced cars are, as Intel CEO Brian Krzanich says, basically a giant server on wheels, which brings us MobilEye's biggest value prop, its data. According to Krzanich, no idea how to pronounce it. The average autonomous car puts out 4 terabytes of data a day, and guess who's capturing all of it? Hint, MobilEye. On top of that, they also collect data on traffic lights, stop signs, and other landmarks that allow it to maintain up-to-date roadmaps that autonomous cars can then rely on in their navigation. And although MobilEye claims it just wants it to improve its software, many car makers aren't happy about the company keeping their data. Case in point, as of last year, Tesla no longer uses MobilEye's tech, a decision which, as the information paywall states, is believed to stem from a data ownership conflict. But, as it stands, MobilEye's tech is already in about 15 million cars on the road today, with millions more installations planned for the next 5 years, so it's almost guaranteed to be a force to be reckoned with, whether Tesla likes it or not. Social media. Trying to catch me riding dirty. Your secret's probably out, especially if you posted it on Whisper, the anonymous online community where users post their candid thoughts and deep, dark confessions. The LA-based company launched an automated service in their new Perspectives product that identifies key topics in a publisher's post and generates a relevant Whisper story to add context or perspective to the piece. Previously, they had to curate these secrets for publishing partners by hand, which takes like forever. Now, publishers will be able to embed the user-generated content directly onto their websites and share the ad revenue. So, what's it going to look like? Imagine reading a blog post on how popcorn is the new superfood. Then, halfway down the page, you see a listicle or video of 19 buttery stories where people unveil their stories of kernel passion, brought to you by Orville Redenbacher. Obviously, the hope is that you'll read it, then immediately buy some kettle corn, which is why, for the past couple of years, Whisper's invested heavily in their ad business by building out a network of publishers and investing in the new products like Perspectives. This is a big-time move by a company looking to monetize 17 billion post views over 250 million members. So, more distribution, automated content creation, and potential for big brand bucks, all built on people anonymously sharing their love of popcorn. Social media. All your secrets belong to us. Do I need to separate you two? Square posted a full-time manager of office seating on its jobs site, which we probably shouldn't be telling you because it's only hurting our chances of getting it. According to the listing, the capacity coordinator is equal parts project manager, a data analyst, and relationship builder. So, analyzing how many times Brad walks past Angela's desk before deciding they would just be so cute together, or something like that, but apparently there's some real science behind it. Turns out that motivational poster everyone had in their high school library was right. Attitudes are contagious. A study at Cornell showed that a positive emotional contagion, scariest name for the giggles ever, introduced into groups improved their cooperation and decreased conflict. There are even entire consulting firms like Cornerstone On Demand that optimizes company performance by collecting data on employees' productivity, effectiveness, and quality of work, then analyzes the spillover effect each worker's traits had on their neighbors. According to them, placing workers with complementary skill sets together can increase organizational performance by 15%. In other words, putting a super productive employee next to a slow-moving perfectionist could make them both better at their jobs. And, just like back in high school, sitting next to your best friend isn't always the best move. Social media. Sorry, Bert and Ernie. Like going number 2 in the middle of the night. New has come to light in the painfully slow decline of Yahoo, and it still kind of smells. We know. We thought it was over when Verizon placed their bid of $4.8 billion and when the whole massive data breach thing happened. But in a regulatory filing this week, the purple dinosaur disclosed a few interesting tidbits worth discussing before it finally goes extinct. First, the nasty business. Turns out Verizon actually did want to knock down the deal price by $925 million, a fact they denied after Yahoo admitted they leaked data from over 700 million user accounts. The two ended up agreeing to a smaller reduction of $350 million, which seems like a lot of money, but is pretty much just a smack on the wrist. Second, sunshine and butterflies. Yahoo's infamously hardworking CEO, Marissa Mayer, is set to get a nice pot of gold at the end of this rainbow. According to yet another ridiculously hard-to-read SEC filing, Mayer will receive a $23 million golden parachute when the deal finally goes through, on top of her $69 million of unexercised stock options and the $97 million of Yahoo stock she already owns. That's about $189 million for not exactly doing a great job, and hey, maybe it was her fault. Or maybe the game was already lost and she happened to be the last one at bat. Either way, it's not going to be her problem anymore now that Thomas McInerney will be taking over as CEO of Altaba, aka the questionably named new entity spun out from the Verizon deal. Wait, remind me what that is? By far, most of Yahoo's worth is made up of an early investment in Alibaba, these days worth about $40 billion, because Verizon only wanted Yahoo's web properties, excluding Yahoo Japan. They created Altaba as a holding company with no real business, which means that McInerney will make a starting annual salary of $2 million for doing pretty much nothing other than making sure they still have investments in Alibaba and Yahoo Japan. Cushy doesn't even come close to describing it. Social media. Still invested? Yup. A few good reads. This article won't change your mind. The Atlantic, an excellent and highly relevant article about cognitive dissonance, aka the reason facts don't change our minds. Peter Popoff, the born-again scoundrel. GQ. One of the 80s most famous televangelists was ruined in scandal, but a great scammer always finds a way, and it seems he's found a new niche for himself. How to Get Rich in America in 30 Easy Steps. Tachymag. The controversial founder of Vice, Gavin McInnes, gives his advice on how to start a business and sell it for lots of money. Hong Kong's Skyline Farmers, The New Yorker. The produce shortage in Hong Kong has forced some businesses to take matters into their own roofs. Onto their own roofs. The Twilight Zone can make you a better person, really. Wired. If you've never seen it, you're missing out on a masterclass in storytelling by creator and the guy with the awesome voice, Rod Serling. TV critic Mark Dawidziak watched every episode of The Twilight Zone with his daughter, and every episode taught him a different lesson. This edition of The Hustle was brought to you by Microsoft. It's time to ditch email. You guys send a daily email. What are you talking about? Okay, true. We should probably clarify that. It's time to ditch email for communicating with coworkers. Why? Because it's 2017 and there are far better solutions on the market. Take Microsoft Teams, for example. It's like having a company-wide chat workspace, which, let's be honest, is much more engaging than the 45-minute meeting you have every time your company changes its expensing process. Plus, thanks to seamless integration with a wide variety of apps, Microsoft Teams lets you do video calls, make to-do lists, collaborate on documents, and a heck of a lot more, all in one place. And so, whether you need to chat with the whole marketing team, discuss company goals, or simply cannot get through the day without sharing at least 4 dope memes, Teams is the answer. Friends, it's time to stop attaching documents to emails. It's time to stop hitting reply all instead of reply. We've all been there. It's time to stop pretending you're stuck in the 90s. Why? Because it's 2017, and, like The Rock in San Andreas, Microsoft Teams is a 6-foot 5-inch movie Microsoft Teams is here to save the day. The Hustle. Subscribe, jobs, advertise, events. Lindsay Quinn, writer. John Havel, writer. Sam Puddin' Pie Parr, the first warm day of spring. You opted in by signing up, entering a giveaway, or through divine intervention. 1381 9th Avenue, San Francisco, California, 94122, in the United States. 415-506-7210. Never want to hear from us again? Break our hearts and unsubscribe.